Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Hardspace Shipbreaker. As we continue on, we've got a couple of these bloody things. I'll just bash them out real quick. I'm not super interested in the lore in this game. I don't know. I'm just not, for whatever reason, it just doesn't grab me. I think maybe, if we're being perfectly honest, after I read through about 10 of these and 7 of them are like on the nose, future corporate, you know, corporation bad, future bad, you know, I just sort of thought, oh, whatever, I'm fucking over this. Is that all of them? Good. Like, we talk about tropes becoming rote, right? And some of the classic examples are World War II games, but I suppose they're not really that worn out. But when I came up as a kid with all the Medal of Honors and all that, it got to a point where it's like not another fucking World War II game, right? They really run that one dry. What everyone would be familiar with in the modern setting would be zombie games. Everything with zombies has just been flogged to death. I mean, shit, they've even done it in media with TV. Things very quickly, very recently have the whole future corporations are bad and you should feel bad for liking them, you know, they're evil. That shits me. That just seems to be the only thing that the current writers' rooms can come up with in these game design companies. And it's funny because I don't always see them as bad. I see them as the way to go, but each to their own, I suppose. So I guess, yeah, that's why I don't find that lore so interesting. Anyway, so I think there were ghost ship versions of the new hull the other day. What am I looking at here? Gecko, salvage runner, yeah. So Javelin's the new thing. Oh, here we go. So look at that. So refueling might be the one. No, what did we take? Heavy cargo and refueling. Look at these. Wow, that looks very different. So this one's got this big old friggin' O-ring on the front, which we had sort of last time. But this looks radically different. Okay, a lot of engines on the side and that. Yeah, let's get in there and give this a bit of a go. So they still haven't updated it so that your hull will save between shifts. So, expecting me to go, how much we got? 4 repair kits. I should have checked the repair state. Apparently that's all been updated. To do like a whole Buffalo is a bit of a stretch, although I am open to it because it's a new hull. Let me know what you reckon. You just got to understand, I have to find bloody fucking 5 or 6 hours, well, not hours, but you know what I mean. I got to get like 5 shifts in one sitting, and my schedule doesn't really allow for that. God damn it. Now, someone had some interesting control options that you could change to maybe get around the fact that the new controls feel weird. And I appreciate the suggestion. And, oh, hang on, we've got fuel lines running out from that. Fuel shutoff valve. Usually those isolation pulls warn against pulling the handle. I'm going to pull this handle and see what happens. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to stick with these shitty controls because they may work out better after 10 hours or something. Okay, that was pretty basic. I'm expecting the other shoe to drop, but you never know. They seem to just dumb it down. A lot of interesting conversation around the complaints that I raised, points that I raised about how they've nerfed the split saw. Glad to hear that, like, some of you challenged me on it, but most of you are probably on the same page as me as well, and I don't mind a bit of healthy back and forth. But it strikes me there's sort of 2 parts to it. One, apparently people more in the know than me that probably frequent the forums and that more reckon that there's been a lot of people whinging that once you fully upgrade the split saw, it becomes unwieldy. And like, I get that. There's a larger range and all that, but oh fuck. I just accidentally selected this. How do I... That, basically, it's too hard. Seems to be a bit of a common complaint about using the high-powered split saw. I really hope that's not what's going on here. That they've just, you know, they've moved around and nerfed it because it's too hard. Because some of the... We've discussed this at length. Some of the coolest parts of this game are the hard bits, and they've, on several occasions, they've nerfed a lot of the difficult parts of this game. Like the green coverings, where you had to find a bit of debris to smash them, and you could potentially bounce that into other stuff. Like, it's an embuggerance, but it was an interesting part of the loop. What the fuck just happened then? Let me out now.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
So that's one aspect of it. I'm kind of praying that that's not how it's gone down. See, because this is airlocked, if I were to repressurize this, it probably won't work this way. If I were to repressurize this and then open...
Air pressure level increasing.
No, see, I was going to then open the door, but that's not going to work. So if we do this, it's going to seal the door out. It's very strange how it does this.
Level decreasing.
It's not exactly what I would call the most well-designed pressure management system. I would think any time where you can have a pressure differential, you'd want to airlock it, surely. Wait, what happened then, just then? Wasn't this pressurized? Oh no, that's going outside. Oh, okay, cool. I'm still getting thrown for a loop. Right, and what's going on with this compartment here? Oh, that's exterior to that?
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me, game. So there's a compartment in here that's not the above compartment? No, it's not that. That was crazy.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Okay, alright, now we're into the bloody maintenance. Into the Jeffries tubes. Okay, cool. And what are we looking at here? What exactly is this coolant thing attached to, though? I don't understand the functionality of this space. Look, it doesn't have to be 100% sensible, but like, what is the point of this compartment? You know? Interesting. Maybe it's something very obvious that I just can't divine myself. Okay, fine. Jesus. Oh, holy shit. Look at this. 4 power cells? Cool beans. Alright. You notice that I spent a lot of time depressurizing these fucking things? Now I'm confused because we've discussed the way that this runs on pretty much anyone's system is, to say it nicely, is poorly, right? You cannot explosively decompress, or you can't be expected to explosively decompress as course of action of playing this game, right? You just can't. It's unreasonable because it'll brick your system. But the fact that they're making all these compartments hyper bloody
airlock pressure levels dropping.
Airlocked, and it's going to take me minutes and minutes and minutes to vent them. It makes me wonder what the devs are trying to do. Are they trying to encourage us to come up with clever ways to vent them? That doesn't work because it always goes wrong because the game's janky, and then your ship will get blown up, and your frame rate will drop, and your computer will crash.
Air pressure level
and it's not even a case of whether you have a high or low end system. It's a case of optimization. This game, well, by nature of its design, is just going to be impossibly hard to optimize. Fuck me, we've got more compartments to vent. It's confusing. I don't know what they're doing. Do they want us to explosively decompress? You know? And then on the other side of it, just while we're on that topic, we'll put up that work order, get the reactor out, okay. It's only a little baby reactor again. We have to use these fucking charges because they nerfed me gun. I'm still very upset about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But if they're not trying to encourage us to explosively decompress the ship to speed the decompression rate, then I would go, okay, maybe they want you to whole buffalo it, right? Maybe that's what they actually want. And then I think about it for a second and I go, but they still have it so you can't save state your, wait, where's the reactor? Oh, hang on, is it a big reactor? I kind of was on autopilot a bit. No, there it is there. But they still haven't implemented a fucking save system so that I can do a whole buffalo over multiple sessions. Do you see what I'm saying? There's so much, like, I would accept that they want me to slowly decompress this compartment over the course of half a shift if they had a save system in place for me to do whole buffalo. That would make sense, but they don't. So then you gotta go, is that not their intent? Okay, so their intent is not for me to slowly decompress over time. I think that's probably a fair jump to make, right? If they're not going to give me the save tools, where the fuck is the floor? Uh-oh, I think the reactor's gone. Wait, what the fuck? What is it pinned to? Oh, it's cell. Right. Oh no, it's going in the furnace. It's going in the furnace. Oh my god, this is not good. This is not good! This is not good! Go, baby, go! Oh, fuck. Alright, at least it didn't hurt the ship. Oh man, I didn't realize I came out back to front. That's how discombobulated I got. Look at that, the cut. If you'd asked me, I would have thought I did that cut on the bottom of the ship. Brrr. Okay, well, as you do. Salvage antenna. Yeah, so there's so many mixed messages. I still don't understand how they want us to play this fucking game. Because a lot of design points to rushing it, and then a lot of design points to pacing yourself. And then they don't have the save systems in place to pace yourself. Oh, fuck off these fucking controls. And they've nerfed all my tools. It's very interesting.
Cutter, there's 5 minutes remaining.
Alright, can I at least cut this with my...
Alright,
I can cut that. There you go, I found something I can cut. That's nice. To those saying it was too hard and I embrace the changes, careful what you wish for, right? What you're asking for is nerfing, right? The taking away. At the end of the day, don't get confused. This is still a consumer product, right? And to go and take away the tool, oh my god, I've decided I hate this radial because normally you could just D-pad left and right to the grapple. I might try out those suggested controls after all. This is something you paid for, especially you paid for a year ago or whatever, you know, however long this has been in early access for. Right? It is unreasonable for a product that you've paid money for to actually really radically change its gameplay loop. Processor. I mean, apart from these bits and bobs, what do all these new cut points do, I wonder? Oh, fuck off! This radial thing is fucked. They should, you know what, they should hotfix it immediately. They should revert it. Yeah, the sort of... Can I push this off or something? Well, what was that holding on? Nothing? Yeah, the point that I wanted to impress to the guys that aren't convinced, because the majority of you are with me, is that nerfing something is one thing, right? But then going and taking a functionality not so much away, but putting it into a different system, you know, the demo charges, but then trying to tell us that it's an upgrade. The problem is that this just smacks of dirty sort of dishonesty, and I think it's a problem with the gaming industry in general. They seem to be very disconnected from their consumer audience. We're a lot smarter than you think. You know, we still have a base level fucking intelligence. We're not all dickheads. And if you go and take something off of us and then put it back in a different mechanic and then try and tell us that that's actually an upgrade, majority of us are going to say that's actually not true. That is a shuffle, right? So this is being pitched as some breakthrough revolutionary piece of kit, and the demo charges, we'll play with them more, we'll see what they do, but half their functionality is the functionality of another tool that we already had, right? And I guess that's the problem. Like, it's less black and white, it's more sort of it feels like they are treating us like idiots, I think, is probably the main concern of most people, right? So we get why they changed it, we understand there was some complaints, why they've moved it all around, but don't bloody blow smoke up our assholes, you know what I mean? Oh, for fuck's sake. Don't go and tell me that you're doing me a favour when you're putting something from my left pocket into my right pocket. You're not, you're just fucking with me jacket. There you go, there's an analogy on the fly. Oh, fuck off, that's not the grapple! Does this come apart now? I'll tell you what, this little cockpit thing's pretty neato with all the little bits and pieces holding it together. What's going on now, though? Space glue? Wait, what? Oh god, I'm gonna take back my words in a sec. What the fuck is going on here? There's no more restraining components. This is all just magic. For those that might be new to the channel, we've discovered how, like, the struts don't hold fucking anything together in this game. It's all magic glue. I mean, not that I can cut it with any of my fucking tools. But, here, I might be able to give you an example with the demo charge, right? If I were to put a demo charge on this, alright, I'm just gonna do some damage to this thing, to this panel. I'm gonna cut it there, but you watch this front part of the panel, I bet you this releases. There you go, you see what I mean? See how this part of the panel let go of the front? We didn't damage that part. It's magic magnet glue. And it's kind of, once you realize that that's how this whole ship holds together, it's a little bit disappointing, you know what I mean? That you come to realize that a lot of the structural join points are cheating. Rewind that footage, you'll see what I mean. I cut the middle of that panel, and yet as soon as you cut it, it's not that, I mean, it's not even that the back half of the panel fell off because it wasn't attached. They just, as soon as it takes structural damage to the panel, all joining components of that panel to neighboring panels let go immediately. They just demagnetize or deglue, you know, we've been playing with different terms. And it makes you realize that looking for structural cut points and all that isn't the trick to this game. It's about understanding how they've coded it to stick together and then actually doing specific structural damage to certain panels to make them let go of other panels, as opposed to actually cut the panel. So the sort of the gameplay loop's not really the gameplay loop you think it is. That was a good example there, but it was quick and it moved, so you might have to go back to it. Yeah, look, I still have my concerns, but like I said, you know, just because we're fans of this game, I'm a big fan of this game. I don't make episodes because I hate it, you know, I really enjoy this game a lot, right? But, you know, don't let them blow smoke up your ass, and don't just drink the Kool-Aid because you're a fan. It's okay as a fan to be critical of something you love. That is how the thing that you love will grow and get better, and hopefully the devs will hear you, right? I don't know if they really pay much attention to me, to be perfectly honest, but you guys probably go into the forums and chat and type things and talk and all that sort of stuff. But judging by my comments section, I'm not the only one that's displeased with the way they've gone about this. So what would I suggest? I don't know. I think give the split saw its functionality back, to be perfectly honest. I think there's nothing wrong with humble pie. I do it all the time on my channel. I'll say big fucking statements and then I'll be wrong and I'll have to roll it back, but I will. On the next episode, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I like to, because it's how you grow. I think they should put the split saw functionality back to what it was. If they're that worried about their weapon radial or whatever, you know what? Put a fucking radial option to turn the power of the split saw down. There you go. All of a sudden you've accommodated for the entire demographic that were whinging. Well, I mean, these are the words of my commentors that were whinging about the split saw being unwieldy at that power level. Just have a flick switch on it that turns its power level up or down. How hard is that? So I say put it back, and then I think the gimmick of the demolition charges firing off in sequence could be harnessed through, instead of nerfing tools, probably through better gameplay loop realization, right? Maybe more compartments that behave like, I'm not saying a one-to-one print, but you know when you like cut the coolant or the power or whatever to a reactor level 2 and that starts a timer, right? Come up with a compartment that has a timer on it, maybe a coolant compartment. Maybe it's got some sort of gas or something in there, or I don't really know, right? But create a scenario where the only way to tackle X hypothetical compartment is with placed demolition charges that sync at the same time. You know, it's like a 2-key turning thing on a nuclear submarine. So if you tried to tackle this hazard or compartment or something with the normal split saw by cutting through each of the 4 walls one at a time, it won't be fast enough. You'll be too slow, and there'll be some catastrophic, maybe like some sort of flight fuel or something like that, some ignition. But if you, yeah, maybe it's a fuel compartment, or like come up with some sci-fi bullshit, a fucking solid fuel reactor or something, you know, I don't know. But the only way to really tackle it is it's got 4 walls to the compartment. You need to cut the whole compartment in half, you know, maybe it's like severing plates or something like that, but you've only got a 2-second window to do it. So you put the bloody deck charges around it, right? There you go. I'm not a game designer, but I'm just saying, like, I don't presume to know to do their job, all right? That is very high ego. There's a lot to it. But what I'm saying is you should be implementing your tools around that. Create interesting gameplay mechanics that the debt charge or whatever can tackle. Instead, what you've done is you've taken functionality away from one thing and you've put it into the debt charge. And as I say that out loud and create that interesting scenario, I would like to point out that that scenario doesn't actually exist in the game yet. So the debt pack, if you really want to be honest about it, is a gimmick. If you had what I was saying, this hypothetical thing that you had to cut in a certain time limit and it could only be done with the debt pack or whatever the fuck it's called, right? The debt charges, then they'd be infinitely more interesting to use because they would have a gameplay functionality requirement. They would be a tool for a job. Right now, they're not actually a tool. They're a toy. They're a gimmick for you to do, hey, I did a 10-second YouTube clip of me setting off 10 debt packs to cut the whole ship in half at once. But who gives a fuck? Who cares if you cut the ship in half at once? There's no actual gameplay implication of doing that in the current state. Yeah, so I think that might be one of my other deeper problems. It's like all that the debt pack adds at this point is a gimmick and not a function. Look at the split saw. It's got the 2 modes, one for cutting plates, which it can't even fucking do now because they've nerfed it, and then the other one, which is supposed to be precision, so you don't accidentally cut other things. Both modes are actual tools for this game specifically. The debt pack isn't. The debt pack is a highly explosive gimmick for making montages for YouTube. Sorry, I wound myself up at the end because I accidentally came to the realization of my real problem with the debt pack is that it's not there to address a gameplay mechanic. Unless maybe there is something in there that I don't know about yet. But yeah. So yeah, they gave us a new toy. They moved the functionality that we enjoyed off of our tools onto the toy. No wonder everyone's upset. And maybe this will help shed light for the people that are just carrying the torch. I get it, you like the game and you're happy for changes, but you know, it's important that you understand both sides of the argument, right? Because if you just want to close your ear holes to what we are saying about how this is a problem, the next update might not upset you where they nerf something again and do this bullshit again. The next update might not, but maybe the one after that. They finally actually fuck with something that you like, you know? And at that point, it's too late. Anyway, team, just a few thoughts on the end. I know, a bit ranty, but it's more that what they've done with the gameplay decision and direction, I find to be kind of more interesting than even the new hull. The new hull looks cool. It looks hyper modular. We saw 2 radically different ships. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes and playing with it a bit more, right? But I mean, it's tough to hold buffalo it. And I get the modularity, but I also wonder how much of that is just gimmick. Like, we were trying to find functionality with the front compartment of the ship, and there was none. And I'm sort of like, okay, modular for the sake of modular? Not sure, but anyway, I'm curious to look at it, curious to keep discussing this. I like seeing all your comments on both sides of the fence. You know, everyone's actually been quite, you know, polite. Like I said, I am quite happy for you to bring the other side of the argument. Someone made a good point about, they look at it as like pruning a bush sort of thing, like you cut back a thing so it can grow in 2 directions. And I understand that as a concept, right? But you got to remember, I look at things from a consumer relation thing as well, and I love capitalism and all these sort of things too. But this is something that was paid as a bill of goods. It'd be like you buying a brand new fucking Hyundai or whatever, and a year later they radically change it remotely. They manage to patch it so that it fucking has extra wheels, or they change the size of the wheels so that the back ones are bigger and the front ones are small. I don't know, but you sort of see what I'm saying. This is why people are cross. But time will tell. You know, people have short memories as well. Jump forward 6 months, maybe everyone forgets that they ever made this change, and that's the biggest trick of all. Maybe play the long game. They make these changes, they fuck us around as consumers who bought in on the product early, maybe lose a few of us along the way, but maybe 6 months from now, when no one remembers what they did and it's all better, everyone will just forgive them. I don't know. Be interesting to see. Let's track it. All right, team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.